The next story, we're still talking education. You know, in what might be considered an unfinished business, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, has raised the alarm over the mass exodus of senior academics, professors from Nigeria's public universities. The union has revealed that no less than 309 professors have resigned within the last 9 months in search of better work conditions abroad. Yes, it is natural to want to move to where the grass is greener, but life lessons are sometimes harsh. Is the grass always greener on the other side? The alarm by ASUU is very genuine, though.
Yes, again, it shows the problem that we have in our educational sector.
Okay.
How much is the salary of a professor? When you look at it, it's so unbelievable that the salary of a professor cannot even
530,000.
500 and something thousand cannot. It's a pocket money for some people.
No wonder they asked for 2 million the other day.
Even 2 million is 2 million is not even enough, because the problem that we have is that if you don't invest in your education, you will end up with lecturers that are not even good enough themselves. The same thing happened to in our medical field, where nurses and doctors are going abroad. Because when people do certain jobs, they should be well paid. They should be well remunerated. Okay. To have official quarters within the university, they should live well, because it takes a lot of effort and skill for you to acquire the necessity and then move up to become a professor. And then when you now get to becoming a professor, you earn 500,000 naira. In a Nigerian situation where 500,000 naira cannot even solve any problem. So you can't be a professor.
Can't fix your car.
Yes, you are a professor. You don't have a good car. You don't live in a good home. And you know that if you travel abroad, you win better money. Why should you stay? So it is important for us to make the environment, atmosphere conducive for our professors, so that we can have quality teachers that will teach our children. It's not that we are not spending enough money on the educational sector, and so sad.
All right, Ishmael, you know, critics had said that it's a crying shame that in my country, your country, a counselor earns more money than a professor. And so you are asking, is there any basis for comparing the two? Or hadn't we better righted the wrong?
Well, first, I want to start by appealing to ASUU to find a way of tampering justice with mercy and not embark on another strike after the last one we had that lasted for about 8 months. I am saying this from the position of the fact that I know the current administration is trying to ensure that certain things that were never obtainable in the educational sector previously are now being assessed. You know, the student loan, the loan to non-academic staff, and what have you. Now, I'm also aware that I'm also aware that this agreement they are talking about was signed over a decade ago or thereabout. And so, I will first of all appeal to the government to find a way of meeting some of these ASUU's demands, while also appealing to ASUU to still give some allowance by not embarking on, because ASUU is already, because what led to this the comment about professors leaving was that the zonal chairman of ASUU in charge of Zamfara, Sokoto, they had a meeting, and because of discussing their agreement with government and the fact that they were going to embark on another strike very soon, a warning strike, that was what led to this.
I was going to talk about what you said a while back. So both government and ASUU can meet somewhere in the middle.
No, they can, because I see a level of commitment on the side of government.
Yes.
Okay.
I see a level of
to play ball.
Not just to play ball, to improve on the fortunes of our education sector.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so if they are doing that, we must not do anything that will take us several steps back. Because I recall when the president was campaigning as APC candidate, in fact, it was in my state in Osun, he made that comment that he will ensure that 4 years is 4 years, 5 years is 5 years. And so this is the time to walk the talk. But then ASUU must also give him that opportunity to do. I am aware that the Yayale, a committee was set up headed by Yayale Ahmed, the former SGF.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the report has been submitted. So ASUU should exercise some patience. Let government look at the report, see what is doable
and what is not.
And what is not doable, so that they and ASUU can meet at a point and allow our children to enjoy their education without let or hindrance.
And to add to that,
so it's a two-way street.
This government has shown sincerity towards solving the problem of ASUU. You know, concerning their allowances, you know, in the last negotiation, ASUU agreed to write off half of those allowances, and it was now reduced to about 48 or 50 billion. And that has been released. This government has released that now. The Minister of Education, Alausa, he seems to be doing well. So the ASUU should also give them that benefit of doubt, because they've done enough. At least they've started with the 50 billion for that, their allowances. So the other things remaining, I think government should also try to put in more efforts. We know that there are competing things for the money, and the money is never enough. But we should not deny lecturers and members of ASUU their dues. We should not do that. So both of them should meet themselves halfway, because it does not make sense for us to go back to the old ways of ASUU, be on strike for 8 months and all that. But we should find a way of injecting more money in our educational sector. The salary, we should not allow them to use the same. There must be a different salary for that sector. A professor should not be earning 500,000. 500,000 that is not even enough to what a councillor or a chairman of local government will put in his pocket.
Always talked about tying the academics to this IPPIS thing. You know,
it can't work. It can't work. They should, you know, because it's a different environment. It's a different environment, and government needs to acknowledge the fact that this is a different environment. Because if we don't do that, there are options. And when there are options, a professor easily can go abroad and become a visiting lecturer or whatever. And it will earn well. And we should look at that, because, for example, I expect every professor, for example, to have official accommodation within the campus.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the things that we should do. They should earn well. 500 is not, even 2 million is not enough.
That professors should be hustling for transportation with students is not in a 21st century.
No, it's not. And if those of them who are in the area of researching, who write articles every now and then, they spend heavily. They spend heavily to get some of those, you know, publications out. I know about this because I'm very close to one of my supervisors, you know, and so sometimes I wonder if he has anything left, you know, to fend for his family. And he's doing all this because of some of us, his students, and other. Because if you say it's for him, I mean, like somebody was asking him the other time, what else do you need? You are not a professor. What other rank are you looking for that you are still churning out, you know, papers every now and then? So, but aside from that,
you cannot stop a busy head.
Yeah, aside from that, I think the administrators, ASUU must also find a way of putting the various administrators on their toes. I know that most universities are into some ventures that is bringing money. So we should also be asking questions what they are doing with those money. UI, for instance, if you lodge in the UI hotel, for instance, it is their water that you drink.
Okay, produced by them.
Yes, produced by them. And there are several universities who are venturing into some of these businesses. So what are they using the IGR tool for? So ASUU must also do consultancy. Yeah, ASUU must also help the government, because see, sometimes if you allow this to government alone cannot do the monitoring.
Yeah, otherwise, let me speak like a cynic. The grass is not always greener on the other side, though. No vex.
Yeah, it's true. It will take time, but after some time, you stabilize. You stabilize. I know of so many of our friends who are in the academic who left. At the beginning, they were complaining, but now they are no longer complaining. They are doing well by all standards.
Okay. It takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. So government should look into it.
But government
and then ASUU should look into it. Show restraint so that we can solve this problem.
All right. Okay. Another story is here. You know, the power to freeze accounts is held by various entities, including banks, regulatory authorities, and courts. And so accounts are frozen to prevent fraud and money laundering. A federal high court has ruled that magistrate area and customary courts and the police do not have the statutory powers to issue orders restricting or freezing the bank accounts of any customer, or for that matter, reversing a transaction in such accounts on the application of law enforcement agency. The landmark ruling was delivered by Honorable Justice Ibrahim Ahmed Kalla in a matter in suit number FHC LCS 07-2025. The judge said, let me quote him, "I know of no law that clothes a magistrate with statutory powers to issue an order restricting or reversing